What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Perfect Match Podcast. I'm your host, Ray Molina, and this is episode 116. Well, it's happening, man. It's happening. I'm just going to jump right into it. My youngest is growing up. He's growing up, man. I've already, I've accepted that my oldest is in high school already, but I didn't think that my youngest, Jaden, would be growing up so fast. I got to tell you something, man. The other day, gosh, today's Halloween. It was yesterday. Yesterday, I busted my butt. I was, in Blackhawk. I was in Dublin, uh, doing some pool fences with my buddy for his business, helping out. And long day, long productive day, no complaints. Made some good money, and was heading back. Or before I was heading back, I got a text message from my son, and he says, "Dad, can you take me to the basketball game tonight or today?" And I said, "Oh." And when he asked me about, "Can you take me to the basketball game?" He's talking about his girlfriend. He has a little girlfriend, and he's shared with me that she loves basketball, she loves volleyball, and he wants to go see her play, wanted to support her. Uh, so the first time he wanted to go see her, it didn't really work out. So this was an opportunity again to go see her play. So he texts me, and I looked at the clock and I said, "Well, I'm just about done. We're heading back. There's gonna be a lot of traffic. I don't want to promise you anything, but yeah, I can. If I'm there in time, I will take you. We will go." And he's like, "Okay, bet." And after I got that text message, I just kept looking at my phone, going, "Man, this is happening. Like this is where we're at now. This is my son, my baby, my little guy is not so little anymore. He's got his own style. He's got his own. He just got everything. He's just got everything about him is just different, you know." Mm. And I'm watching him grow up like I did with Jordan, and I'm still watching Jordan. It's just they're both at different points in their life right now where I am I don't want to say I'm not enjoying because I'm enjoying the hell out of it, but I'm also getting a little bit of, sentimental about it because it feels like it's just going too fast. And I was always told, like, cherish these moments because before you realize it, they're over. It's over. In a blink of an eye, it's over. All of it. They're out of the house. They're living their lives. They've got their families, and you, you know, are left with memories, beautiful memories. But now you transition into the father that just has to be there when they need you, because they won't need you all the time. Now, to get back to this basketball game, I we started coming back on the freeway, and I looked and I said, I sent him a message and I said, "Hey, it looks like I'll be back by about 4:15." The game started at 4:45. I said, "So uh, we will have time." Now, mind you, I'm sweating from the day. I'm in work clothes, but whatever. This is not about me. I Part of me wanted to say, buddy, I want to go home, take a shower, I want to clean up. I don't know if we're gonna make it. But then I started realizing, this is my son. This is important to him. This is this is someone that he really likes. And yeah, man, it's whatever you want to call it, puppy love, whatever you want to call it. I I I have to respect it for the simple fact that my kids both know I met their mom at the same age. I met her at the same age. She was legit like my first girlfriend. and it was the same age as Jaden. So as much as I, look at it and say, "Oh, it's cute," yeah, I know that the possibility is it's very slim, but it's there. And as tired as I was, as beat as I was, it wasn't about me. It wasn't about the my day. It was about coming home, throwing some water on my face, freshening up, putting some deodorant on, making sure I just dust myself off and get my son in the car and say, let's go. Because it's about him. These are his memories. And I don't ever want him to grow up and say, it broke my heart, Dad, or you hurt my feelings, Dad, that one time I asked you if I could go see my girlfriend play basketball and you said you were too tired, you didn't have time. I don't ever want to take those moments for granted because I think it was a big deal that my son even came to me and wanted to talk to me about having a girlfriend, or the idea of wanting to have a girlfriend and what that entails. Because he did, he came to me before it even happened, and I always told my kids, you can come to me with anything. I don't care what it is. Please come to me with anything, any question. I don't care if you think it'll upset me. You have my word. Even if it upsets me, please tell me, and we can figure it out. Almost everything can be fixed, and we'll figure it out. But don't ever get yourself into something and then say I was afraid to come to you and tell you. Tell me, talk to me. All right? This is what I'm here for. I don't ever want you to be afraid to come talk to me. And he did. And it was important for me to stand on my word and say, yeah, I'm going to take you. It wasn't about my day. So when I got there, when I picked him up, he he had these little cargo pants on, these nice little shirt. He had his little chain on, and he had his hair done. He's got this little feathering hairstyle that he does that all the kids do now. And he wears cologne. He wears the cologne I used to wear when I was a kid, Eternity. And had his white Air Force Ones on. He had his glasses. Uh, they look like reading glasses, but they're just for looks. But he loves them. And he's wearing these glasses, and I look at him and I said, "You ready?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Let's go." And I got to tell you, man, ooh, we drove to the school. She was playing away, not at their school, but at another school. So we drove to that other school, and we got there, and I asked him which number she was, and he's like, "Oh, she's number two." And we're watching her, and I said, "Do you want me to take some pictures for you so you have some, and then maybe you can send some of her, some of her to her so she has them?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "But don't make it like obvious." I'm like, "Okay." So I was kind of sneaking photos in as she was playing, and it wasn't about you know the actual game. It was just about the I was trying to live in the moment, and when we walked up before we sat down, a couple of girls turned around. They're like, "Hey, Jaden." He's like, "Hey," and I'm just getting used to like kids, not just kids knowing my sons, but little girls, and they're like, "Hey, Jaden," and these were her friends. And we sit down next to each. I totally told him it was okay to go sit with his friends, and he was like, "No, I want to sit with you," because he was nervous. Like he was nervous. I don't think he wanted to sit in front because he didn't want to put any pressure on her, and I just think it was, he was nervous, but he wanted to show her support. So I was snapping photos, and I just kept looking at him. And every time she made a play or whatever, we would kind of giggle and laugh. And I'm like, "Oh man, she's competitive. She's just like you." And he's like, "I know." I go, "Do you ever tell her at school, like, let's play against each other?" He's like, "No." he's all, he's all, she takes basketball way too serious. I said, "Oh," I said, "You don't think you can beat her, huh?" He's like, "I don't play basketball." I said, "Well, here's the thing. Play her at basketball, she'll whoop you, and then you got to tell her, hey, now we got to go play some baseball. All right, now you got to come do my sport." Mm. And he thought that was funny. But you know what, man? I'm watching as I'm trying not to make it obvious, but I'm watching him out of the corner of my eyes. He's watching her play and he's smiling and every time she does stuff. And I started to tear up to the point where he looked at me and I was like, damn, man, my allergies are bad today from where we were working. He's like, oh yeah, is that why your eye? I go, yeah, my eyes are, they're leaking right now. So I'm like scratching my eyes, but I'm legit tearing up because this is my baby, man. My this is my son. And I'm sharing this moment with him that it's wild. It is wild. If you are a parent and you haven't got to this point yet, wow. It is wild, man. I worry because I have sons and I know how boys can be, and I know how protective fathers are, good fathers of their daughters. So the first time that he was supposed to go see her play, uh, it was a change of plans because apparently her parents are divorced, and I guess without giving too much information, it's not too peachy between the families or whatever. And I guess the real father, doesn't know she has a cell phone, doesn't know she has, or that she likes my son. So they didn't want to get in a situation where it was awkward. Totally understandable. So he told me that. I said, "Oh yeah." I go, "Yeah, buddy." I go, "Yeah, that's understandable, that she told you that, it's just because the families maybe aren't in a good place, and that's smart that you don't go, at least for now. You guys are young." But after having that conversation with him, I said, "Do you remember what?" And Jordan was sitting there at the time too. And I said, "Now I'm gonna ask both you guys since you're both here. Do you remember what I told you guys? When you have a girlfriend or when you like somebody, how are you when you meet their father? What do you do?" A couple of things I taught you when you were younger. You look them in their eye and you shake their hands and you say, "Nice to meet you, sir." I said, "Exactly." They both said that. And I said, "I'm glad you remember that because when you don't do stuff like that and you act a certain way, who is that a reflection of?" And they both said, "You." I said, "Exactly." Now, if you are a jerk, disrespectful, act a certain way around her family or her, their mom and their father are going to say, "Who the hell raised these two boys? Who the hell raised these guys? They have no respect. Come by my house when they're not invited. Don't say hello to us. Don't shake our hands. Walk by us. Talk to my daughter however they want to talk." I said, "You understand?" "Yeah, Dad." I said, "Okay. I'm telling you because apparently this is where we're at now. We're here. Little guy's got a girlfriend. Jordy, you haven't said anything to me, but I'm sure you probably got your eye on somebody. But I'm refreshing all of these things to you because it's important. Because if I had a daughter, you would not be coming to my house showing any sort of disrespect. I expect a handshake. I expect you getting out of the car, coming to the door, knocking on the door, asking to come pick her up if she's available. All of it. I had to learn it, and it's time you learn it as well. Okay? I'm not going to say I was perfect. I did mess up a few times when I was younger, and that's okay. But as long as it's back there and you need to get a refresher, I'll give it to you. I said, and I told my son Jaden, I said, so when it comes time that you actually do meet her real father at a game or at school or at a whatever kind of function it is for school, you make sure you do it exactly the way I taught you. And he said, all right. Now, the funny part of this story is this. Excuse me. I think I told you my son Jaden is a bit of a firecracker. All right. Jaden, if you ever listen to this, you know you are. I've told you this, and you and I have banged so many times. My son is a bit of a firecracker. I'm not talking about Jordan, I'm talking about the little guy. When he does not do well, or his team does not do well in a game, he ain't trying to talk to nobody. He ain't shaking your hand. In fact, he'll smack your hand away and just walk right past you. He's the kid that walks 100 yards in front of you, dragging his bag, and leaves you in the dust, and then stands there, pissed off at the car until you finally catch up to him. That's my son. Here's the funny part. My son's school, her team, didn't win. They didn't do very good. She did really well. And I'm not just saying that. She actually did really well. But the team didn't do well. So I said, "Did you want to say hi to her before we leave or whatever?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So I get up, we walk away, and obviously she's coming off the course. She's gonna say hi to her mom or whatever. But she walks by, she gives my son a high five and a smile, and then she makes a beeline for the door, and she is out. Her mom walks right by me. She gives me a smile, and I give her a smile, and that's as far as it goes. But I'm cracking up because as we walk out, she is 100 yards in front of all of us, making a beeline to the car, as her mom and one of her other family members is walking slowly behind. And I looked at Jaden and I said, "Would you look at that? I know why you like each other now. You are just like each other." I said, look at her. That's you. That's you after a game when you don't do well or when your team loses. Look at." And he starts cracking up. He's all, "Stop." I go, "Am I lying?" He goes, "No." He goes, "I told you she was serious." I go, "This is hilarious, man. I am cracking up watching this." I said, I can't wait to tell your mom. She's going to crack up on this." I said, "You weren't lying. She's super competitive." And you know what? As a father, I like that because I tell both of my sons, I don't want you with somebody who doesn't have anything going on. I want you with somebody who is in alignment with you, with who you are. They don't have to play baseball, but I want them to be athletic. If they're playing softball, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is, tennis, whatever it is, I want them to be athletic, have a schedule, be on point, be training, doing all the things that you do. So there's never a, "Why don't you ever make time for me? How come this? How come you're always training? How come you're always at practice? How come you blah, 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 blah." They're never going to say that because they're doing the same thing, but on their end. I want that for you guys. So it matches. So you have the best chance for it to be successful. You're going to go through a lot of relationships. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Maybe you're blessed and you find one early and that's the one. It happens. But for the most part, most people go through a lot of relationships. And I hope that you have someone who's similar to you, not someone who's just a pretty face, a pretty body, and that's all she's got going for her. And she likes to shop because that's just going to bring you problems because it's not in alignment with who you are. I take my son Jordan to the gym and I tell him, I said, "See some of these little girls in here, these chicks, they go to high school. I know they go to high school. You could tell how young they are, but they're in here working." I said, I hope that you find someone who is active, has an active lifestyle like you. so it has a good chance of being fulfilling. I don't want you to be with somebody just because they're pretty, because it's got to be more than that. It's got to be more. And so talking about this game and the funny part of her, doing what my son does after a bad game, it was funny, but it was also refreshing to me, and I liked it. So I don't know, man. I'm trying to take all this in and understand that, you know, he's just in seventh grade. He tells me, I said, so what are you gonna do when you get to high school? He said, oh, I'm gonna be single. I said, wait, eh, you're 12. First of all, that just sounds crazy. He says, no, 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 I'm gonna go into high school single because I don't want to go into high school and be in a relationship. I want to be single. I started laughing. I go, I don't even know how to have this conversation with you. You're talking about a relationship and you're 12. But I go, but if you're asking my opinion, I think that's smart because high school is a whole different ball game. And it sounds like you guys may be going to do two different high schools. So that's going to be rough. Um, and you just don't know, man. You go to high school, you know, uh, and you just don't know. The funny thing is, there's another part of this story. Uh, Last week we went to a football game, a high school football game, where I had a couple of kids that I coached. They're playing there. It was a senior night. My son wanted to go, Jordan, because some of his friends play, and it was a big night. There's a lot of people there, and I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Dad, will you take me?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take you." And Jaden says, "I want to go." I said, "Why do you want to go? You never want to go to these high school football games." He's like, "No, I want to go." He's like, "I want to hang out." I said, "Okay." And I go, "Wait a minute. You just want to go to see if you have any riz with these high school girls." And he starts laughing. Now, you heard me just say riz. That's not a word I use, but my kids use this term. Apparently, riz means charisma, or like if you're able to pull girls, it's called riz. I don't know, man. I'm 49. That's new to me, but I use it every now and then, and he hates it. So I said, you trying to go to this high school game because you want to see if you have any riz with these high school girls, huh? He goes, Dad, I'm loyal. He goes, I'm loyal. And I started laughing. I go, wait, what? He goes, Dad, I'm loyal. And I said, that's right. I go, I was testing you. I go, that's good. I'm glad. Look at you, man. You're loyal. I like it. I like it. You're young, but I like your outlook. That's good. That's good. I go, it's still crazy for me to hear because you're 12, but I like it. I like your mentality. That's good. He goes, I just want to go. I want to go hang out. I said, okay, cool. So we go to this game and, we're just cracking up. And I said, are you looking forward to high school? He said, kind of. They both want to go to this other school that we were at because more of their friends go there. But, it is what it is. You're not in the district. Unless I'm coaching over there or whatever it is, we can't get them over there. I think there's a like a magnet program or something that you can try to get them in, and we tried, and it's always full. So, anyways, we go there. They see a lot of their friends, and we hang out or whatever. But it was a good time. Mm. Staying on Jaden, he just recently tried a new hairstyle. This was a couple days ago. This was before the basketball game, and he says, Dad, can mom take me to the hair place? I said, you mean the barber shop? He said, no, the hair place. I said, the salon? He said, yeah. I go, what are you gonna do? He goes, I'm gonna get a perm. And I said, oh, you're gonna get a perm? He said, yeah, yeah, I'm getting because my hair's long now and I've been growing it because I want to get a perm. He goes, with the taper fade. He goes, is that okay? And I said, okay. I go, listen, at do it once, see if you like it. You may hate it, but let's see if you like it. And when he walked away, I had to check myself because part of me wanted to say, "Come on, man, you don't need to go get a perm. Your hair looks fine." But then I had to realize, and I started going through the Rolodex of hairstyles that I had when I was younger, and I had to check myself because I remember going through all these different phases. And yeah, I did get a perm. I got a body wave. I dyed my hair. I bleached my hair. I had a flat top. I had a mohawk. I had a fade on the sides. I had lines around my head. I had a ducktail. I mean, you name it. I had braids. I had cornrows. I had dookie braids. I mean, you name it. My entire life, I went through so many different hairstyles. And so I had to really check myself because this is, you have to put yourself in their shoes and remember this is the age where they're going to start trying new looks and to find out who they are. And you can't judge them. You can't suppress all this. You got to let them try things. Even if in your mind you're like, "Oh, come on, man. Just got to let them try it." Okay? Got to let them try it. So I did. His mom took him. And I'm getting updates, like, again, this is a few days before the basketball game, and I'm getting updates left and right. She's like, "Oh, still here." It was like a 2-hour gig where they're like putting the curlers in there, putting the foil, doing all this crazy stuff. And I thought they would be done. And then she's like, an hour later, she's like, "Okay, we're going in for the fade." I'm like, "Damn, you guys are still there?" It's like, "Yep." And then finally, she sends me pictures, and damn if it didn't look good on him. He it's crazy. I shared it on my Instagram, and everybody was like, "Wow, he is handsome." They're like, both of your boys, Jordan and Jaden. Man, I am a blessed father. They are handsome as hell, and I worry because I don't want them to get their hearts broken, but I know it's part of life. You know what I mean? And I don't want them to hurt anybody. Because both of those days are tough. When it happens, they're tough. So I'm looking at these pictures, and he just has the biggest smile. And she's like, he's so happy right now. He loves it. He loves it. It came out exactly how he wanted it. And I said, I can tell by his face. I could see it in the smile. And when he came home, I made sure to be at the house when he got there. And he ran up to me, gives me a hug, and he goes, "Look." And I'm like, "Dude, it looks really good." And he's like, "You like it?" And I'm like, "It looks really goes, it looks really good." I go, "Do you like it?" He goes, "Yeah, I love it." I said, "That's awesome. I'm glad, bud. You look really good." He says, "I look Puerto Rican now." Listen, man, I'm Puerto Rican, and Puerto Rican and Mexican, and but my hair has never been curly. My hair is straight. I got my mom's hair, and it's not even really wavy. The only time I really looked Puerto Rican is when I had cornrows and braids and stuff. That's when people knew. They were like, "Oh, this." They always used to tell me, "Oh man, you look like Mac 10." When I had my cornrows, they're like, "Oh, you look like Mac 10." Uh, but I started laughing. I was like, "You do look Puerto Rican. You look like a light skinned Puerto Rican." And anyways, I said, Are you gonna send your friend uh pictures of what you look like?" He's all, "No, it's gonna be a surprise." I was like, "Okay." And I ain't gonna lie, part of me was like, "Man, I hope she really likes it. If she doesn't, he's gonna be heartbroken." And so uh he goes to school. Next day, I pick him up, and I said, "So, what did she say?" And he goes, I go, did she like it? He goes, yeah, she liked it. And I go, he goes, no, 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 wait. He goes, she said, I love it. And I was like, are you serious? He said, yeah. And he got a big old smile. And I was like, man, score. You made the right decision. Good job. And he's like, yeah. I go, how about some of your friends? It's like, no, they all liked it. They liked it, Dad. And I'm like, all right, cool. Nobody's making fun of you. And he's like, no, no, nobody's making fun of me. I started laughing. I go, man, that's cool, man. I'm glad you like it. And Jordan has been wanting one too. So Jordan will be next. And here we go. Mm. Anyways, I am taking all of it in, man. My sons are growing fast, fast, man. Um, it's it's quite the journey for me right now. I am on my own journey in my personal life of just me as a man, but I'm also on this other journey of being a father and raising these two kids and and co-parenting with their mom and just taking it all in and just being like, gosh, this is wild. That's all I keep finding myself saying that. This is wild. Today's Halloween. Or tonight was Halloween. And this is the first year that my kids didn't want to dress up. Yeah, man. 12 and 14. They didn't want to dress up. They just wanted and it wasn't even on some bah humbug. Oh, we hate this holiday. Nah, it was like, nah, Dad, we want to chill at home and pass out candy. I was like, I'm not kidding you. When they said that, me and my ex-wife looked at each other like, wait, we don't have to go walking for miles to get candy with a flashlight in the cold? Well, I don't. Are you guys sure you want to stay home? Yeah, I'm gonna stay home. Like, wait, what do I do with myself? She's like, oh, I'm gonna stay here and hand out candy. What are you gonna do? I'm like, I think I'm gonna go make some money. I'm gonna work. I'll go make some money. If you got this and they're home and they're gonna pass out candy, then I'm gonna work. I'm gonna make some money because I got to go to Vegas with Jordan for this baseball tournament in a few weeks, and I got to make sure I got money for it. And yeah, that's where we're at. This is the first year my kids didn't dress up and didn't want to go trick or treating. Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. So that's where I'm at, man. Life is crazy right now. Life is crazy. Not life isn't crazy. Life is great. But what's crazy is witnessing all of this, everything that I just shared with you. It's a wild ride. If I can tell all of you, fathers, give your boys and your little girls every nugget you got. They're going to need it. They're going to need it. They're going to need every nugget you got. Make sure you are telling them everything. So when they are interacting with other adults and their children, they're making sure to make you look good and them look good because you've taught them well. Make sure you're there for them when they need you for special occasions, like I was just talking about. You make time. I was damn tired when I got off of work, but it wasn't about me. It was about my son. This was a big deal to him. So please, when your kids reach out and you know it's been one of those days, put all that stuff aside and go do it. You sleep later. Always sleep later. But take care of that because those are the memories that they're going to hold on to forever. And I'll tell you what, man, that moment that I shared with my son when I dropped him off at home at his mom's, I gave him a hug and I said, "Hey, thank you for letting me share that moment with you. Thank you." He said, "I love you, Dad." I said, "I love you too." That's all I got. That's all I got. Like always, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok at itsraymolina. The podcast is at The Perfect Mess Pod. The brand is at It's Beast or Famine. My woodwork and furniture flipping is at Molina's Trade Shop. Sorry, I never give that out, but I'm giving it out now. And my website is raymolina.com. Again, it's my government name, raymolina.com. Uh, YouTube, youtube.com/, The Perfect Mess Pod. Make sure to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell in the corner so you get all the updates, all the shorts, just everything that I put up. You'll get every update. Please subscribe there. And if you're on Apple, Spotify, uh, wherever, Stitcher that you listen to, please subscribe, please follow, leave a review, a comment. It helps. And if you like anything that I'm talking about, please share the podcast with somebody that you think should hear it. All right. I really appreciate all you guys who continue to listen and continue to help me grow this thing. All right. Like I always say, my life isn't perfect. Oftentimes it is a mess, but for me, it is the perfect mess. Peace.